Okay, so the cursed recording. I lost everything I recorded for this deck, so I'm just going to do the tech here and upload it and get it ready because I do not have enough time to keep going. So what I did here was I took my three favourite little pet decks of Explorer, which is Niv to Thievery, Niv to Hero, and Niv to Learning, and mashed them together into a triple Urion deck. So we are trying to abuse Widespread Thievery, Hideaway 5, make a treasure anytime we cast a multicolored spell. Hero of Precinct 1, whenever we cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 token, and Cram Session, gain 4 life and learn. So we are, as the name suggested, using those three in a standard Niv Mizzet package. We are running 2 Time Wipe and a Scarab God of 5 drops. Scarab God is a new inclusion. It used to be pretty common in the Niv decks. Obviously, exile effects have increased, so its removal is easier, but not as easy to deal with. But honestly, one of the craziest things that someone at my LGS said to me is, why wasn't I running it? Because and I said, sometimes, against control or other decks when there's not many creatures, it doesn't really do a lot if you just have it on the field. And he goes, if it's late game you have Scarab God, wouldn't you rather have a 4/4 hero that makes you tokens? I was like, oh hell yeah, I would love to do that. So that's why we've put Scarab God in here, knowing that we might be able to hit a hero out of our own deck. And also why I've added in, obviously we can reanimate Nivs. We've just added a few more additional things. Our 4 drops, we have 1 card, All in the Pack's Hope. Well versatile Planeswalker. At its worst, it is a 4 mana make 2 2/2s, which is meh, but again, it can also be life game because an opponent has to try and take it out. We are running 2 Knight of Autumn as a good option, bounce effect, and another thing for our potential Scarab God hits if we get it late game. 1 Clarion for dealing with weenie creatures if we need to, 2 Colligan's Commands to rebuy creatures, and all round good card. And then 3 Wandering Minds as our dig effect. With Expressive Iteration gone, I think this card goes up a ton. Not so much in the certain decks that are running Iteration, but definitely in value decks like us. And again, it's another creature. There was way more creatures in here than I realised when I started putting the Scarab God in here. As I said, 4 Widespread Thievery, 4 Heroes of Precinct 1. We got 4 Vanishing Verses to answer individual opponent removal. Drown in the Lock, this power has gone up tremendously without Naya Winota now in the format, in any format. The big things you run into that are hard to deal with are the rat combo, and by the time they want to cast the rat, they normally have enough cards in there for us to counter the rat or kill it. Tyrant Scorn as well, another answer to the rat and other effects. 4 Cram Sessions for the learn effects. 2 Cindervines main board. Cindervines is great against control decks, but it's also good as a stop valve if an opponent gets, for example, the rat combo off and puts the Parhelia into play. As the last resort, we can pop Cindervines and do some damage or buy us a turn to try to find an answer. 2 Rip Apart, good sorcery speed removal and versatile in what it can take out. Its ability to hit a Planeswalker is surprisingly relevant. And 4 Growth Spirals just to deal with any creatures we have. So moving to our sideboard, we have Yorion as our companion, as expected with an 80 card deck. Just cover the lands very quickly. 2 of each basic. A good spread of the slow and shock lands. A good spread of the triomes, I think 1 of each. And then we have 2 evolving and 4 fabled as our cards for digging and filling out the deck. Our learn package is just these 6 cards here. We have Environmental Studies for fixing, Teaching of the Archaeus for card advantage in late game, Containment Breach just as a widespread that picks off both artifact and enchantment and can live as a creature. Pest Summoning, of the summonings, this one is one that I'm okay with against aggro decks. So the line is, if we have Cram Session on turn 2 for this, we've gained 4 life. Then on turn 3, if we don't do anything else and we drop this, we've got 2 bodies that can absorb damage and give us 2 life back. So potentially 6 life, 2 blocks. Very good rate in my opinion. Introduction to Annihilation for generic answer, and a Mascot Exhibition as a late game finisher. For our non-learn package sideboard, we have 3 Authority of Consoles for aggro decks, and against the rat decks this can also be pretty solid, because one of the strengths of the rat deck is if they can resolve the rat, they can crew the Parhelion. Using the Authority means they have to play the rat, have it on the field and give us a turn before they could potentially crew it, unless they have other creatures out, but we should be answering them if they do. Veto is a hard answer to control and other non-creature decks, very solid, and 2 more additional Cindervines, again for control decks. I mean, a full play set of Cindervines in the deck is hardcore, but against a control deck where you could turn, basically if you have a Cindervines on the field, your opponent's going to take a damage every time they cast a non-creature spell. Every time they counter a spell, kill one of your creatures, or try to gain card advantage, they're going to take damage. So it's very good in my opinion, and it's one to work with. So that's the deck. We did play a few games. All in all, it's not very powerful. It's more of a pet deck for me, because I had all these cards from playing the different versions of Niv. I kind of put them together. I would not recommend this as a build around, but one thing I would say is, if you have made the budget Niv deck in my other videos with the Cram Session package already, this could be a stepping stone upgrade if you wanted to maybe do Cram Session, then add the Widespread Thieveries, and then add the Heroes if you wanted to upgrade to a Uranium deck eventually. I would probably say, if I was to rank the multi-card payoffs in tier, A tier is definitely Widespread Thievery. It's absurd how good this card is. Then it would be Hero of Precinct 1 will follow up next, and finally would be the Cram Hero package, the Cram Learning package. It's versatile, but the least powerful of the effects. But yes, I will endeavour to get more gameplay soon. Unfortunately, time is of the essence this weekend, so all my hard work and recording was lost, but we still had fun playing the deck. Thank you.